Hey everyone, how's it going, and welcome back to ROBOTBOY. And in this video we're going to be breaking down the patch notes released for No Man's Sky The Abyss. Now, No Man's Sky The Abyss, if you don't know already, is the latest update for No Man's Sky. It's the latest titled update, the first one since No Man's Sky Next released in July earlier this year. This is version 1.7, and in my previous video I went through the major additions that were kind of talked about in a bit more depth in this sort of overall summary of the update on nomansky.com. But today we're going to break down the individual bullet points of the patch notes because there are a lot of them and the last video is going to go on forever, so I did want to separate it into this. So if you are interested in hearing all of the specific patch notes, please I guess carry on listening to this video. Anyway, so when I say breakdown, I'm going to go through them, and if there's anything worth highlighting then I will. I'm not going to go through every single point and sort of talk about it, but just to summarize it, in case this is where you get your No Man's Sky news from. So lots of talking, lots of reading. Now, I mean, I guess it is worth going through these bullet points because while the sort of general overall summary went through specifically what the Abyss was about in relation to underwater, there's obviously, with any update and any patch that they do, general additions and improvements to the entirety of the game. It's not just focused on underwater, there's stuff added and fixed everywhere. So it is worth going through this and finding out what's been changed. So underwater gameplay and visuals. Increase the diversity of underwater biomes. Improved character movement in the water. Improved surface swimming. Improved swimming for customized characters. I mean, I don't know what that's in reference to. Maybe, I guess, with some forms of the customization, the animations and stuff didn't look as good before, I guess? I'm not sure. Anyone know what that's about? Allowed the torch to be used underwater. Oh, thank God. Improved underwater and swimming cameras. Improved camera behavior when approaching the surface of the water. Added support for jetpacking underwater, which is great. In addition to getting the submarine, we also get just general improvements to jetpacking, meaning if we are swimming, it's faster generally. Increase the probability of oxygen spawning as a secondary resource underwater. That's brilliant. Increase the depths at which underwater buildings can spawn, basically meaning we can dive further and there's more of a reward and more of a chance of us finding stuff the deeper we go. Prevented drones spawning underwater or following you deep underwater. Didn't know that happened. Added underwater only emotes, which is pretty cool. Improved underwater character and swimming audio. Improved underwater prop placement and object densities. Improved terrain editing underwater and fixed an issue where it could rapidly propel the player upwards. I've never experienced that before, but I imagine that's hilarious to watch. Improved colors of the water surface and underwater effects. Improved foam effect at the edges of water and objects. Fixed an issue where a line could be seen around underwater objects and the underwater horizon. Improved water visuals at night, and that's probably a good thing because at night the water looked like absolute trash. So I don't know actually. I haven't actually seen it at night from the surface. That's worth checking out. Removed a hard pixelated edge seen at the edge of the water. Moving on to fish and underwater creatures now. Improved detection of whether the player is inside a building while underwater. Improved general fish shoal behavior. Increased spawn rates of fish and creatures underwater. I've noticed that. I've definitely seen a lot more underwater creatures just generally swimming about. It's not so much of a rarity. I feel like when I'm underwater I'm like, oh, there's fish. This is great. It feels more lived in. Improved predatory fish movement and behavior. Improved logic for spawning and despawning underwater creatures. Improved movement of underwater cow and rodent type creatures. Improved and added to fish and underwater creature audio. Added jellyfish, clams, crabs, and abyssal horrors. Ooh. And like I said in my last video, those abyssal horrors are creepy as hell. UI. Disabled censorship in text chat between friends, meaning you can swear at each other as much as you like now. Added more options to the inventory transfer menu. Removed unnecessary UI data to improve load times and memory footprint. Disabled resizing the terrain beam at times when it cannot be used. Fixed cases where quick menu items were incorrectly highlighted. Fixed issues with vehicle inventory transfers. Fixed the hazard icons for protection tech against secondary hazards. Fixed a crash caused by opening the inventory while using the ship communicator. Improved ordering of some objects in the building menu. Fixed a clipping issue in the binocular UI. Fixed an occasional crash in the character customizer, and various minor text and localization fixes and improvements. Bases and buildings now. Added the chance for abandoned buildings, ruins, crashed freighters, and crashed starships to spawn underwater, which again is a great addition and gives us now an objective and reason to be underwater and look for things. It's not just looking at pretty underwater fauna and flora now. There are actually reasons to go and explore and use the submarine to go down into the depths and find out what's going on. Fix an issue where players could fall through storage room walls. Allowed storage rooms to be placed in a grid layout. Made minor improvements to the indoor camera. corrected volume of NPC speech inside player bases, fixed an issue where shop terminals placed in bases could cause certain rooms to be hidden, altered limits on building some objects rewarded through the Quicksilver bot, added a new underwater shelter building, added over a dozen new base parts, which are pretty cool base parts to be honest. They really do. I imagine I'm actually going to try and make an underwater base now, because before I didn't really see the point of it, but now they've got specific underwater parts. Yeah, it's worth checking out. Freighters, ships, and space. Improved spawning of frigates in multiplayer games when players are on board them. Fixed an issue where players' ships would incorrectly appear in a new system after warping. Fixed cases where specific frigates would always take the same type of damage. Fixed an issue where multiple fleet missions would automatically be handled in simultaneously. Added ability to scan frigates and freighters using the analysis visor. Added ability for players to repair their friends' frigates. Fixed issues with characters on the freighter after the player is gifted it. Prevented dust being permanently active on frigate landing pads. Improved ejecting from your ship in confined spaces. Prevented being launched through low-hanging ceilings and anomaly walls, which has happened to me a couple of times and is a pain. Improved positioning of players getting out of ships and respawning on landing pads. Fix an issue where frigates failed to reset their resource collection after giving resources to the player. Fix a crash caused by the anomaly in certain systems. Added a marker for off-screen black holes. Made frigate icons less intrusive. Prevented the anomaly being resummoned if it is already present. Added ability to detect planets with water from the galactic map. Okay, that's interesting, very interesting. Fix an issue where the player could not land their ship after switching missions while looking at a mission marker. Added a vehicle shop to the space station, which I haven't checked out yet and I definitely want to have a look at. Fix issues where players could be stuck in ship landing pads. A lot of issues with being stuck. Missions and progression. Added the Dreams of the Deep mission. Added a new story to Underwater Ruins. Added a number of new aquatic substances, goods and products. Improved the return marker on portals the player has travelled through. Fixed an issue where some missions would always give an identical reward. Improved ability for missions to select locations to send you to from small clusters of buildings. And fixed an issue where protection tech would only drain for one hazard at a time. Vehicles. Reduced the radius on the vehicle gun to ensure particles spawn at the contact point. Improved vehicle boost effect colors. Disabled the find building ability in the vehicle's default scan as it has been replaced by an improved scan now. Removed decals from the default vehicle, allowing players to add them in manually. Improved colors of vehicle decals. And last couple of bits here, looking at creatures now. Fixed cases where birds would fly into the ground. Improved rodent tail animation. Improved creature scanning in multiplayer. Fixed an issue where filters for creature part generation were not correctly applying to all genders. And fixed an issue where biological horrors could become non-hostile after attacking an exocraft. And that was kind of an exploit, really. Yeah, some people use that. Not one of them, I promise. And lastly, system. Just some general stuff here. Improved shader uniform resolution on PC, a performance optimization. Fix an issue where there could be a long pause on a black screen when booting into the game. Improved multiplayer permissions for lobby use. Changed default multiplayer permissions to be more permissive in creative mode. Fixed various infrequent crashes and implemented various performance system and stability fixes. Oh my god, that was a lot. I'm glad I didn't put this in the last video because that would have been one ridiculously long video. Anyway, that's it there, everyone. I hope you enjoyed listening to this video. I know it's just a lot of me reading, but I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, I personally find listening to other people read this type of stuff quite interesting. For other games I'm interested in, it's like, here are the patch notes. Sometimes I can't be bothered to read them. I know it sounds lazy, but there are some, you know, YouTubers I like, and I just like listening to them tell me what's in it instead. So there you go. I hope maybe some of you find that with me. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. As always, please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and do subscribe to join me on this journey if you haven't done so already. And I've got some brand new merch up on Redbubble if you want to purchase any funky retro Robot Boy items. And if you're feeling super generous, please do head over to my Patreon to help support the channel, and a link to that is in the description below. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video.